Pillars of Eternity continues. Welcome back to more Pillars of Eternity. Video 21. We are traveling to Brackenbury. In this district we have the sanitarium, the Hadrit House, House Domino, Raymont Manor, and the Charred Barrel. Let's actually start out here at the Charred Barrel. Or excuse me, the Raymont Manor, because we have a quest here. The old serving woman regards you with bleary eyes. Begging your pardon, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to return downstairs. Visitors aren't permitted on the upper floor. I'm gonna backhand this bitch! Boom! She collapses without a sound. Bitch slapped. Though exquisitely crafted, this love scene feels stiff and uncomfortable.
How may I help?
Oh shit, the guards are here. All the goodies.
Yes? I'll see what I can find.
Well?
How may I help? Hey.
What the fuck? Close the door and the guy's running around.
Of course.
That's hilarious.
Well?
Indeed.
Following your lead.
Got to that level 4. We can do Rejoice, my comrades. 2 fingers of daylight. Beams of pure light that restore endurance. Sweet. Let's check out our chant here, though. I know I can make multiples. Oh, I thought I got some more chants at this point. Not really using the whole ice thing a bunch. It seems like I'm better off just going boom. Chant 1. Chant 2. Chant 3. Chant 4. They're just going to repeat these. I guess it won't build up if I switch between them, though. That's the take. So what's the difference between the dark green and the light green? It looks like this one will still kick in. This is, I guess, showing when the next chant will start. So we'll chant, we'll have an area of effect of bonus fortitude and will. Actually, we should probably do that first. I don't know, let's fucking try that. I was gonna give a speed at first. Don't really need speed after that. I mean, the reflex is nice. I think this is just a matter of finding my playstyle.
Hey.
What is it?
Aye?
Well, we're gonna hit this lever. That's for sure.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Malignant Cloud hit me for 19 raw damage. You hit for that raw shit. There's the Heart of Winter March. Priceless jewel known for its pale glow and named after the equally famous mountain range it was discovered in. Jewels like this were once believed to attract dragons. It's our shit now. Heyo! The caster becomes able to see his enemy's weakness and vulnerabilities as though they were physically tangible, increasing the chance of landing a crit. Nice. More books and shit.
Hey. Indeed. That's not nice. I shall. The work of a moment. I'll have it in no time.
Another fine large shield.
The work of a moment.
This probably isn't good for my reputation. Oh well. Sorry, Yetter. I mean, it's not saying it's hurting my reputation that I can see.
Of course.
These apples look too vividly crimson to be real. I'll eat it anyways! This is a master arc of a famous Siderian painter. Though exquisitely crafted, this love seed feels stiff and uncomfortable. Luglug hacks it into pieces with his sword. Fuck that chair! These guys have no idea what's going on up there.
Nice and quiet. Nice and quiet.
Should we talk to Lord Raymond? We just ripped him off. He's smoking a cigar. Being all lordly-like.
Good day to you.
Lord Raymond holds a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has a sallow complexion and restless air of man who devotes all of his days and most of his nights to work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. I've uncovered a plot to rob you. Ah. He lowers his papers and looks at you. Is that so? Let me see. He takes my gem. I mean, he did pin me out with some XP. I was hoping I would just be able to turn in the dead thieves and walk off with the gem. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. We also don't really want to piss off the Dominos. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. I just robbed the place. I'm feeling uneasy.
Yes.
Come back and kill them later. The charred barrel. Heartless bitch. Hana Oracus. And Thirstwind. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes and he seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. I'm not backing down, even for a thug like you. He puffs up his chest. The fuck are you talking about? If I were after you, you'd already be an oozing pulp under the table. Thurston cringes. I meant no offense. I just been on edge ever since our falling out. He pulls at one of his shiny buttons. Cyril is a courtesan over at the Salty Mass and Andra's Gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense. Fill him up with liquor and send him her way. They have a good time, and Cyril takes her fee and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, and these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Better not try that shit with me! Relax, we're just talking. Besides, I'd like to get out of that business. Anyway, we always split the bounty until a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off some noble. It's an Egwythian mountain medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck, and even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Tell me more about your situation. He picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? Well, what makes the medallion so important to you? I grew up near Glanfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glanfathans have protected Egwythian ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the god asks of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. The treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clan mates scattered to towns around the Deerwood and probably live on the crust of bread. He looks at the embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the gods' forgiveness. The shattering spear could go home.
This is all rather fascinating. A single medallion to earn the gods' favor and so return home. It rather reminds me of a story I heard somewhere.
Tell me about Cyril. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast over in Andra's gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. Man, this motherfucker is flossing. She's a good friend. He folds his arm in his trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand-to-mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear, but this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held for generations. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Irglan Fath. He sighs, arcing his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course I could, but that's not the point. A community isn't a place, it's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist, like an anchor. Defending the ruins of the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make sense to you? I'm not sure yet. He looks at you almost with pity. I don't know how else to explain it. Hello, I'm Luglug. You seem like you've done well enough for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or escape by in the gutters like the rest of my clan, but I'd give it all for that medallion. I'd offer to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Cyril knows it. I can see about getting that medallion for you. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her this day is by paying, so you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Okay. Let me show you what I'm working with. It's gonna hurt her. I put the hook in hookers. Abelhard Scarion.
Hail and well met.
You sound like a douche. Is this your place? It's my retirement. Used to be a warehouse back when Brackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who never had any luck pawning it off on my cousins. Now it's the most popular spot in Brackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and the kith from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We get a few rough types, too, but they behave in here. Sides their coin as good as anyone else's. Who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duke for decades. He rubs his neatly stubbled cheek. Crossed the White March half a dozen times and mapped most of the ruins of Thin Bog. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. A good career, but one suited to younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, Cleaver and a few other friends in the Knights helped me get the rights to refurbish this place. There's strong ale, quality entertainment, and a fresh sea breeze. He raises a mug. What more could a man want? Cheers to that. Show me your menu. Huh? Dragon meat dish. Well, tough, gamey, and notoriously hard to cook. Dragon meat makes for a rich, fatty meal that's said to transfer the beast's strength and power to those who consume it. Whoa, that's pretty nice. It's an expensive fucking meal, too. Dragon eggs, the grandest of omelets. Those that feast on dragon eggs often find that it's very little they would not dare to do. I have to come back here when I'm ballin'. Nor did look at this. The lamp seems to swallow light, showing no reflection upon its surface. It's cold to the touch, and when held to one's ear, a quiet susurrus can be heard. I have never seen that word. The lamp is sealed with a piece of cork on which a single rune is inscribed. It summons 3 shades. You can use it once per rest. That's dope. I want to be Shade Master. Don't touch it, Luglug. That shit is mine. I am master of all shadows. You are master of retarded. We are going to go ahead and rest here. Just to get back up to par. Both these places suck. I guess we'll go with the noble stay. Interesting how the different rooms give you different bonuses. It's quite cool.
Welcome.
And let's go ahead and sell off the extra bullshit. Fine warbow, we'll hang on to that. Don't ask me why I'm keeping one of those magical shields. I just feel like it. Fucking deal with it and shut up. Everything should be by type, damn it. Alright, I like all my stuff here. Spirit shield. I'm gonna just hang on to my cool potions. Got some scrolls. Collecting, you know, doing what I do. Main keep is going to be finished in 24 hours. And we can go on to something else. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. You see a woman clad in expensive finery. Her eyes flash as she interrogates a trembling wreck on the ground. Reaching into his pocket, her hand curls around in a dress. She smiles grimly. Moments later, she is bedraggled in the alleyway, her pace quickening. Her braids trail around the corner and she is upon them, or perhaps they are upon her. The action does not last as she easily dispenses of man after man, searching their faces, clothes, shouts for something she fails to find. Frustrated, she moves on, but not quickly enough, as an Orlan attacks us from behind, the seal upon his finger glittering with malice. The woman's eyes alight upon it as she twists to evade his blow, and her eyes burn bright. Perhaps this was not a wasted trip after all. Victor. You see a large group of people gathered in the common area of a large inn. This man is standing in the midst of people, engaged in conversation with someone. He is smiling and talking gregariously, moving from person to person with ease. He's able to extract himself from one conversation and insert himself into another without a break in his stride. He kisses the hand of a well-dressed woman, dipping her, then twirling her back into the arms of her escort. He moves on to another group, slapping someone on the back while laughing at the joke. And then he's off again, sliding between people, hugging someone, shaking hands. He never stops. Finally, he seems to have hit his limit, and he excuses himself from the gathering, much to the dismay of everyone here. He smiles and waves as he leaves, making a little bow with a flourish of his hand as he closes the door. Once he's away from the inn and around the corner, he pulls several objects from a concealed pocket in his jacket. He looks at each one in turn, a necklace, a brooch, a couple of coin pouches, and a small jewel. Smiling, he pours the money into his palm and quickly counts it. Still aimlessly wandering the streets, he passes a beggar who holds out a bowl to him, pleading for a pittance. The man stops, smiles at the beggar, and drops all the coins into the bowl. Then he walks off, whistling happily. It's because he's got jewels and shit. He's good. A little bit of a Robin Hood persona.
Yes.
Well, there's a basement? You got rats in your basement you need help with, sir? Bandits in the basement.
Yes.
I'll talk to him.
What is it?
Hello, my name is Luglug. Just having a little chat with my associates. Cool.
Of course.
Don't mind if I rob the place, do you?
I shall.
Yes.
The proprietor has collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from tart Adir Reds to sweet Summer Head.
Yes?
Ripple sponge, made from sponges found along the rocky coast of Rawatai. Ripple sponge is ground finely and inhaled. Oh yeah. We found some of that before. Now we found some more.
I shall.
Pale yellow and deep amber whiskies from Deerwood, and the living lands rest side by side.
Yes.
Alright, can't really do much with those guys unless we force attack them. But they're bandits. Let them cause evil. Please don't track dirt into my kitchen. The patrons here are particular. Fuck them! Merrywith watches you through kohl-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger. Best keep it that way. What brings you to the charred barrel? She raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb, and Skarian doesn't ask too many questions. You don't seem like a Brackenbury local. I'm a sailor, she gives you a half smile, and a liberator of certain goods. Merrywith casually fingers a large earring. And the nice thing about the snobs here is they're usually too polite to ask more.
Indeed.
An exmetil water jug fashioned from white clay. Is it Xamatil? It's probably Xamatil. But it's got a silent I as well. So it's Ixmatil or Xamatil. I don't know. I'm not a fucking linguist. Is that a death godlike? Ooh, it is. We gotta talk to him. You see a group of children shouting, twisted laughter erupting from two small mouths. An eyeless boy, face grown over with strange black tusk, cowers against the log. His small shoulders shake as he whispers to himself, trying to block out the relentless trail of insults. Freak! Monster! Deathhead! The boys stay long after the other children leave. You see the same eyeless boy, now a man many years later. Another group crowds him, but this time it is an audience. He tells a long joke about a ghost and a privy, and by the time he reaches the punchline, the crowd is yelling, starting to sound very much like the first. Well, not my fault you're a shitty comedian. This map of Deerwood and near Glanfath appears to predate the discovery of some of the ruins in the east. It's signed by cartographer A. Skarian.
Aye?
Probably shouldn't rob that right in front of everyone. This guy likes to kill asses.
I'll have it in no
You're
time.
not going to tell him he kill
The
asses,
work of
are
a
you?
moment.
You guys are bitches. You tattletales.
As you wish.
You see a pair of chain gloves sitting on a table between two men. The gloves are inlaid with gold runes and glow from a faint blue aura. This man stands on one side of the table, and across from him is another man dressed in arcane robes. The man retrieves a small pouch and hands it to the wizard, telling him to count it to ensure his entire payment is there. The wizard smiles, giving the man a half bow, and then empties the pouch into his hand. You wanted these gloves protected from thieves and other unsavory characters, he says, dropping the coins piece by piece back into the bag. Put them on, and they'll never leave you. The man slowly slips his hands into the gloves, a look of satisfaction on his face. His smile falters a little once they're on his hand. The gloves flash briefly and then start making a light metallic tinkling noise. The look of satisfaction quickly becomes one of concern, and he grabs at the gloves, trying to pull them from his hands. His fingers tug at the openings, but they have shrunk, trapping his hands inside. The metal begins to work its way into his skin, small drops of blood appearing on the surface of the gloves. The man drops to his knees, fighting with them and crying in pain. The gloves constrict until they have completely shrunk around the man's hands, becoming one with his flesh. The man looks in horror at his hands and then up at the wizard, who's finished counting his money and is standing at the door. "You certainly won't be losing them now," he says, stepping through the door, slamming it behind him, leaving the man on the floor staring at his hands. Whoa. Hey, I don't mind taking those gloves. Ileana Renault. You see a woman sway, her voice floating gloriously above the court. Lillian is sweet. Liltine is sweet, yes. It twists around them, and they smile. She's a opera singer or something, enraptured as she palms their hearts one by one. She begins to dance, but something in her step is offbeat. She pauses confused, a snatch of the foreign sound in the air. Competing, resisting. It takes her a moment to spot him, a small man with a single brow chanting under his breath, disrupting her song with his staccato incantation. She intensifies the dance, the swing of her hips wider, her feet a flicker above the square tile ground, the underlaying chant in her own song more persuasive. His lips twist intently, vibrating with the effort of countering her charm, and then a note crystal clear, bright and tinkling. He begins to smile dazedly as her song continues, and he forgets all about resisting. She has won the day and the court.
Yes?
She's a bit of a charmer, eh?
Hail, traveler.
What is it?
It's time to go see a man about affection.
Hail, traveler.
I don't recognize you. What business do you have with House Dominio? House Dominio? I found a letter that might be of interest to someone here. I see, right this way.
Yes?
You ever feel underdressed?
All the time. A young man leans against an expensive-looking glass cabinet. He holds a jewel-studded goblet in one hand and an ornate pistol in the other. He grins with wine-stained lips.
Our doormen seem to think it important that you meet with me.
I found this note. It may interest you. As Abercan reads the letter, his curious smile fades and the page crumples in his grip. His twisted lips are as cold and dark as the amethyst lining his cup.
You better explain yourself. And quickly.
I was attacked in a house in Copper Lane. I found this letter after I finished my assailants, like the little bitches that they were. Wine splatters the mere smooth tiles as Abercan hurls the goblet. He smashes the curved handle of his pistol into an antique cabinet next to him. The men standing nearest look back from Abercan back to you, their hands ready over their weapons. Criminal indeed. No one should waste a good red like that. Eder whispers to you, maybe you should pay him a compliment to help patch things up.
You've killed my men and cost me. But I'll give you one chance to make up the loss.
You'll finish the job I gave my men. This should be no problem for someone of your reputation. Is this what you're looking for? Abercan's eyes widen, and he pushes away from the cabinetry.
Oh, nicely done. Now, give it to me, and I'll see that you're duly compensated.
As you wish.
A rare prize indeed. Take this. You've earned it.
Major positive for House Dominel.
My father, Gedmar, will be pleased to learn that I've acquired such a gem. And an ally. Go and speak with him upstairs. He's been looking for someone with your skill.
I got the skills to pay the bills. Tell the gods you're a distant cousin. He winks. They'll understand. I got some questions, buddy. I have no answers. If there's nothing else, get the fuck out of here. Okay. Touché. Level 6. You got that level
may I help?
6 stuff going on, bud. Can only have 4 spells at once, huh? Well, this is Ronstock's deal. Lightning bolt is always very strange to do. It never feels like it does what it's supposed to. Bouncing all over the place and shit. Although, you know what? You are my offensive guy. Oh, I see. So you can buff up and get extra slots for more spells. Interesting. Good enough for now. The knives are warm from the heat of the oven. They look absurdly sharp.
Aye? I shall be discreet.
You gotta steal from anyone you can, period. Even if it's their fucking vegetables.
Of course.
Probably shouldn't steal in front of the boss's kid, though. Let's go talk to Papa Dukes.
Indeed. I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
So slick. Hey, we're getting that bonus XP. It helps. Every little
Of
bit.
course.
Indeed.
This guy's all up my bunghole. Alright,
Well.
whatever.
Good day to you.
The woman must be well into middle age, but there isn't a line on her face. Her large green eyes are watchful behind a curtain of glossy black hair. She studies you. I don't believe we met. I'd remember you.
That's right. Everyone remembers the Lug Lug. What do you do here?
She looks you up and down. Let's just say I'm a merchant. I handle the trade of certain goods that my enterprising children and husband happen across. But I only trade with special friends, and if you want that kind of relationship, you'd have to do a little something for me.
Lug Lug do a big something for you. What did you have in mind?
She crosses her arms and watches you out of the corner of her eyes. There's a certain someone who may or may not be named Kolfig. He insulted me. I'd like you to make an example out of him.
What do you want me to do? Rip his head off?
I'd hate to stifle your imagination. She wrinkles her nose with a quick smirk. Just see that you teach him a lesson he won't soon forget.
Sounds like fun.
That's the spirit. She winks. I know that little runt holds up somewhere in Andra's gift. Once you've taken care of him, come back to me. I've got some stocks that I reserve for special friends.
Hot titties.
Oh, the big man must be in here. Allow. He's got an Amoa. Looks like a coastal one. Oh, and he's got his Wizwid. Lord Gedmar Dominal is a man of presence. He wears finery in the style of Adir nobility, yet there are scars across his knuckles and burns on his neck that few highborn bear.
My son mentioned that you might come seeking work and advancement. I believe we can work out an arrangement. However, you must understand that such an arrangement will no doubt put you in opposition to the Knights of the Crucible, and to a lesser degree, the Dozens.
A cool head and closed lips. Very good.
Know my terms before we proceed. You've served my house well thus far. Individuals of your skill are always in demand in House Dominel. What I require will be both dangerous.
We might not want to actually do this until we
no doubt surmise.
do the minor quest for the other two places, just to have them completed. But I'm not sure if that happens as soon as I accept this or as soon as I turn this one in. He begins pacing behind his desk. Failure will mark you as an enemy of House Domino, and of many others in power in Defiance Bay. His feet make no sound as he crosses the velvet carpet. Tempers are rising in the city. Many are quick to perceive a threat. You'll have to accept this task without foreknowledge of the details. I expect nothing less than absolute loyalty from someone seeking the favor of my house. He watches your face. If this is asking too much, now is the time to withdraw. He stops and places both hands on his desk, leaning forward. Should you succeed, however, you'll be rewarded most generously. House Dominal is a wealthy and powerful ally.
My forefathers taught the citizens of Defiance Bay to fear and respect the Dominel name. In the wake of Hadrit's rebellion, establishing a reputation was most expedient. We don't live in the same world as they. Trouble is brewing, but this time we must be careful if we want to avoid the crossfire.
The Knights of the Crucible have grown bold amidst their chaos. They fear the dozens and their ability to coax an angry mob. They seek to assert their authority the only way they know how, by stomping over every other bastion of power in the city. His hands tighten into a fist, the scars sharp and white across his knuckles. Marshal Winfield's become a problem. He's taken a particular interest in some of House Domino's business activities. He will neither be bribed nor threatened nor convinced by any other means. He is intransigent, a weed, and if nothing's done, he will turn the full force of the Crucible Keep upon us.
So you want this weed pooled?
You are quick to understand. Wenfeld can be found at Crucible Keep of First Fires, one of the most well-guarded buildings in the city. His piety should make it simple enough to corner him. I want the Knights to go to war with the dozens, not with us. Tensions are high enough that it won't take much to turn them against each other. Leave this token on the altar of Abidan in the chapel. It will send a clear message to the Knights.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
I guess we should say the thing that keeps bolstering our faction favor. Wait a minute, bow as you wish? No, fuck that. Lug does not bow.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, someone's going to be mad at someone after this, we know that. That just depends on whether or not the other factions are actually mad at us yet. Hopefully we can finish their other quest before we go actually do this. I mean, I'm sure it's not that big a deal, but...
I heard about your new assignment. I also heard that my father asked you to make sure the dozens take the fall. Don't. My father's a shrewd businessman, but he's too cautious. Defiance Bay used to respect us. House Domino needs that respect again if we're going to survive the coming changes. Don't plant the token.
What do you suggest I do then? He wants to return to the day when Domino's name was feared throughout the city. Yeah, I'm down with that. Right now I'm just testing it out to make sure that I can still do the other shit. If I can, I'm going to need to reload and not shake hands quite yet. It didn't say anything like I automatically failed any of the other quests, which I assume this game would because it's programmed very well. Yeah, we have all kinds of quests to do in here for these guys. so far it looks like I'm not being attacked, so that's a good sign.
Commander Cleaver said you're working with an animancer to build Forge Knights.
So much for his talk of secrecy. I'm building Cleaver's metal warriors. He says they're what we need to keep order in Defiance Bay, so...
He shrugs and shakes his head.
How are you creating these Forge Knights?
Suits of armor and souls. Cleaver has had me repairing and reinforcing unused armor for months now, just so we can fill them with some poor sod's essence. As long as that scholar girl's got her numbers right, infusing the armor with the soul won't be that hard. That's not what bothers me.
And you need Viana's research to complete them?
She's been working out a method to transfer the souls into the armor. Getting the process just right is critical. He holds up one hand. Bind the souls too tightly and you get something like those flesh constructs of the sanitarium. Barely bright enough to avoid walking into a wall. He raises his other hand. But bind them too loosely and they'll be too self-aware for their own good. Mad killers in metal bodies.
Do you disagree with Cleaver about Forge Knights?
I disagree with him on near about everything, and this is no exception. These Forge Knights won't solve a manpower problem. He can call them what he wants, but they aren't knights. He folds his arm and looks at the ground. And don't get me started on the other problem. Those souls he bought to power the Forge Knights, Cleaver keeps telling himself that they came from willing donors, but he knows better. There's a reason you have to buy souls through less than legal channels. We should be clearing those scavengers off the road, not doing business with them. So it looks like we're safe for now. We just want to be sure not to complete that quest until we tidy up these other two. So let's return to Brackenbury. Now entering the Hadrid house. The marble at the base has been worn smooth by the passage of 100 feet.
That's a lot of feet!
Welcome.
The Orlan man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers, Cadnua, Gilded Veil. Old voices indeed.
What are you talking about?
The Orlan grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients.
What else can you tell me?
His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunrid Row?
Is this affidavit real? It's signed by you.
He holds the page but seems to stare through the words as if something woven in the fabric of paper. Kieran bares his pointed teeth. I remember Penelm, a preening peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist when I told him he was the sole descendant of an Adiran general, one who fought against Hadrit's rebellion. He scans the affidavit. Forgery, and not the first I've seen. He hands it back to you. But I've no time for the knights and their obsessions. Bring this to this commander, Cleaver, and show him the seal. He points to the wax stamped by his forged signature. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Aloth's gaze flickers to you. Doom a man for the soul the gods gave him. Seems rather unfair. Let's see.
Looks like you could use some help.
Kirin wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Dunrid Rose ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before I could share.
What are you busy with?
His small furry hands gesture expansively at the papers before him. hollow-born growing unrest, and ever-present political intrigues. With so many missing souls, missing persons are the least of our concerns these days.
Tell me about your skills to pay the bills.
I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher in Irglanfath. We were once known as Brish Halagwin, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until Animouncers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now we make some of the best detectives in the world, tracing souls. We can look at a person and see where they've been, or look at a weapon and see who's touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you, useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine.
Yes.
I'm going to keep this quest going for now just because we're running out of video time and I'm interested to see where this goes, and I want to get these minor quests with the factions over so I can go full force into the other one. Oh, here's Penhelm. Penhelm's face is white. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he'd seen someone in the records room. He takes a slow step toward you, extending his hand. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. His other hand comes to rest on his sword.
Don't worry, I'm sure the knights will let you stay to scrub latrines.
He draws his sword and spits at your feet. I won't let you ruin me over this.
Oh, you done fucked up, buddy. I'm going crazy.
This thing isn't doing the job.
You guys are spreading all out, aren't they?
Good arms.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, there's no grubby grubs out?
Well, mow it.
Dirty fucking knights. If you're gonna be evil, at least be evil. Don't pretend you're good. You gotta get rid of the posers. And anyone that works for the Knight's Crucible doesn't work for the Dominos. I can side with Osric because he's kind of a rebel. He's an outcast. And Luglug and Ronstock both understand this.
Is this the armor you wanted?
Osric waves a moment in disbelief. He looks at you in the back of the breastplate. He reaches for it slowly, as if expecting it to disappear before he can touch it. How did you manage this?
You were right about the affidavit. Unfortunately, Pinhelm forced me into a fight.
A shame it ended like that, but he's a lying weasel who started this. You did all I asked you. You are owed much. He withdraws a letter, a coin purse from his pocket and hands it to you. A leather coin purse, nice. Stop by Sonlid's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gear in the city. And I'll see that she opens her inventory for you. This got us a little bit of Defiance Babe Miner positive. Quest completed. Okay, so that quest is done for the dozens. We're not going to help them out anymore because they suck balls. We just need to do the quest for the Crucibles. Crucible Knights. And then we can go balls deep into the Dominos. We don't want to talk to Weenan because he's going to try to give us a quest to join his cause. Where's your chick at? I just want to see what's for sale. Oh, we got a little icon down here. I think something's complete. No, main keep completed. I have no idea.
Hail, traveler.
Ooh, exceptional shit. Braces of all-consuming rage. When the husband and children of Elena Skycleaver were captured by Terwin the Blackhearted, she and her troops besieged his castle, hoping to negotiate her family's return. Instead, Terwin had them impaled on the battlements while Elena watched from below. Upon seeing the atrocity, Elena abandoned all rational thought and ran screaming toward Terwin's castle, first in anguish, then in rage. To the surprise of all present, Elena suddenly stopped screaming and burst into flames, supposedly touched by Magrin herself. Terwin's soldiers loosed their arrows, but Elena did not even slow. She struck the castle gates like a battering ram, bursting through and scattering Terwin's soldiers. Desperate to escape her fury, those who remained threw their master into her path. Her flames engulfed him, and no one knows if the unearthly scream that followed came from him or her. But within minutes, both of them had burnt to ashes. Only the bracers survived. These bracers are made of bronze covered in dark green patina. Etched into the metal is a picture of a slender humanoid engulfed in flames. Strangely enough, the humanoid has no head, only 2 blue orbs where the eyes would normally be. +2 might and +1 constitution? Holy fuck, we need these. I rarely find shit in the magic shop that I want. Yeah, lose the gloves of Dex. Boom. +2 might, +1 con. For old Lug. Bringing him to 23 might, bitches. Alright, we're going to do some more shopping in the next video, but this wraps it up for this one. We'll see you soon.